The holidays are here. There's going to be a lot of celebration, a lot of drinking, and unfortunately, some drinking and driving. So my don't drink and drive message comes in the form of a true story. And hopefully this will get through to a few people, maybe open some eyes. All right. So back in like 2001, when I lived in Florida, I was getting ready to leave the house to go to Walmart. This is like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Before I left the house, I put a hot tea in the microwave for 1 minute. Okay, that plays into the story a little bit later, so I'll come back to that. So I grabbed my hot tea and went in my car and drove to Walmart. So I was taking a road, Banana River Boulevard, and it's a dark two-lane road with a river on one side and houses to the other. And it was very dark. So I'm driving, I saw a shadow on the side of the road. Okay, and I looked closely, it was a car that was upside down. And that was just so weird because it's so quiet and peaceful outside. I had my sunroof open and everything. So it was weird. So I'm driving by looking, and I saw there was someone inside it. This just happened. And I'm the only one there. So I got out, went to go check, and it was a dude probably in his 20s, upside down in his car, struggling to stay alive. Struggling. I mean, he was crying and trying to get air in at the same time. It's almost like he didn't have enough air to cry. So I did whatever I could. I tried to get him to focus on me until help arrived. I brushed the broken glass off his face and his neck and everything. And I'm looking around and I saw his legs were gone. His legs probably separated from his body. They were completely crushed. And he's in there struggling to breathe. Some neighbors came out, and there's nothing we can do. He's upside down and crushed. We had to wait for help. And then he stopped breathing. So we're trying to revive him and trying to, whatever we could. We're like, I think he's gone. And like 10, 20, 30 seconds, I'm not sure later, he pulled one of these. And that was his last breath. And that was just, you don't forget something like that. So we just witnessed this kid take his last breath. But what I didn't notice was he wasn't the only victim. About 100 feet or so ahead was the car that he hit. It was a little tiny, like a Ford Festiva or one of those little cars, Geo Metro, something tiny, a little tiny car. And the female that was driving in the driver's seat was screaming as loud as humanly possible. She was in an immense amount of pain. I don't know how fast this kid was going, but he hit her right in the door and smashed her arm into the door. And you never heard screaming like this before. Okay, this was a scene. I went in, there's nothing I can do. Help was just getting there. And I looked in the passenger seat, and her boyfriend, husband, whoever, guy friend, I didn't know if he was alive or not. Okay, he had blood all over his face, and it was covered with shattered glass all over his face on top of that. It was a crazy sight. I didn't know if he was alive. So I went around to the passenger side and looked in the window. And this is what I saw. The dude went like this. He made eye contact with me and looked back. He was in shock. And that's a look I will never forget. That look has haunted me for 20-something years. Okay, dude was in shock. And they went and got the jaws of life trying to help the poor lady out and everything. So I went back to the first car where the kid passed away. We heard a noise, saw his eye pop out of the socket from all the pressure. Talking to the neighbors there, I saw an empty Coors Light can that rolled up. He was drinking and driving. I thought it'd be fun to drink and drive. He had a lot of fun that night. And I asked one of the neighbors, so when did this happen? And what he said, how he answered me, sent chill down my spine. He said, about a minute before you got here. I'm like, wow. If I didn't put that hot tea in the microwave before I left the house, I could have been right there, if not involved, when that happened. It makes you think about how lucky we are sometimes, So the dude decided to drink and in a bad accident ruined his life and other people's lives for one night of fun. And his family, I'm very sure they were sound asleep when he died in my arms. And I couldn't sleep that night. Thinking about the phone call his family would get in the morning. I didn't sleep. Don't be the reason for a phone call, people. There's no amount of fun that's worth all that. Get an Uber, spend the night, pick up your car the next day. There's no amount of fun that's worth ruining lives over. Stay safe. Have happy holidays, people.